Have you ever wondered what it really costs to sell a home? How much you will actually take home after all the fees and expenses? Let's break it down so you know exactly what to expect. I am Amanda Aguiar, your local realtor expert, and on this channel, I post videos about what it's like to live in Seattle metro area. And if you find this content helpful, please make sure to subscribe and share and click that little bell so that you can stay up to date with all the new upcoming videos. And as I always share, I get calls, emails, and texts every day from people wanting to move here, and we love to help. So if I can do anything, please make sure to reach out, but I won't know unless you give me a call, send an email, or reach out via text. But I've got you anything that you need to know about moving to Seattle. And in this topic today, if you're thinking about selling your home, what is all those costs gonna look like? So the first and often largest cost you will face when selling your home is the real estate agent's commission. This is the fee that you pay to your real estate agent for helping you sell your home. And it is typically negotiated before you list your property, so you will know that ahead of time. In most cases, the commissions range between 3 to 4% of the home sales price, depending on the agent you're working with and other factors such as the market conditions and the level of service provided to you. With the upcoming changes that we're facing right now, the commission is usually for the listing agent, but also the seller has the opportunity, if wish so, to pay a commission for the buyer's agent. Usually that can go anywhere between 2 to 3%, and then you can choose to provide that, and it's totally up to you. It is important to understand this breakdown because it directly impacts of how much you will net from the sale. Now let's talk about the settlement costs. These are the fees associated with the closing of the deal, and they include a few key items. One of them is the escrow fees. First, there is the escrow fees, which pays the escrow company that manages the financial and contractual aspects of your transaction. They handle everything from holding the money to ensuring all the documents are signed correctly. And typically this fee is split between 50-50 between you, the seller, and the buyer. Then there is title insurance, which protects the buyer and the lender from any issues within the ownership of the property. And as the seller, you usually be responsible for paying the buyer's title insurance policy, while the buyers pay for the lender's policy. This ensures that when you sell your property, there are no outstanding claims or liens against it that could cause any problems down the line. Another important settlement cost is prorated property taxes. This covers the portion of the property taxes you owe for the time you live in the home during the current tax period. For instance, if you sell your home in March, you'll be responsible for the property taxes from January through March. Even if the next payment isn't due until later in the year, you will still need to pay your share at closing. Finally, there is the excise tax, which is essentially a sale tax on the transaction itself. It's calculated based on the sale price of your home. This is a significant cost that the sellers need to be aware of, as it is an unavoidable expense when selling your property here in the state of Washington. And I recently did a detailed video on the changes that the excess tax rules here in the Washington state. And I link that below for those of you that want to dive deeper into how this tax is calculated and what that means for you. Now let's move on to another major cost, which is paying off your mortgage. Most sellers do have a mortgage on their property when they decide to sell their home. When you sell your home, the proceeds from the sale are used to pay off the remaining balance of your mortgage, and this is usually done by the escrow company as part of those closing process. And if you have more than one loan on the property, such as a second mortgage or a home equity loan, those will also need to be paid at closing. And the escrow company will coordinate these payments to ensure all the debts are tied to the property are clear before the sale is finalized. And occasionally, there may be additional liens on the property that needs to be paid off. For example, if you had work done on your home and didn't pay the contractor, they might place a lien on your property. So before the sale can go on through, that debt needs to be settled. The title company will search for any such liens and as part of the closing process, and those must be resolved before the sale can be completed. And now, while it's not very common in today's competitive real estate market here in Washington, there are situations where a seller may agree to cover some of the buyer's closing costs. This usually happens in a slower market or if the property is more challenging to sell. In such a cases, covering a portion of the buyer's closing costs can make your property more attractive to the buyer. And those are what we call concessions that you can provide as a credit to the buyer. This expense is often negotiated as a part of a sale, and it is important to understand how this could impact your net proceeds. And if you're interested in learning more about how this works and how to negotiate these costs, I have another video linked in the description where I go into greater detail. And finally, there are a few miscellaneous costs that sellers should be aware of. These costs can vary depending on your situation, but can add up quickly. So if there's any HOA dues or special assessment, if you live in a condo or in a community where a homeowners association, you might need to pay off any outstanding HOA dues or special assessments before the sale can go through. These fees, they have been, lived by the HOA for things like maintenance or improvements, and they must be settled before you can transfer the ownership of the property. There are also minor fees associated with preparing and recording the necessary documents for the sale. These costs are generally small, but they're still part of your overall closing costs. If you offered a home warranty to the buyer as part of a sale, this is another cost you need to cover. Offering a home warranty can make your home more attractive to the buyers, especially if it is an older property. And lastly, consider any costs you incurred while getting your home ready for the market, whether it's repairs, staging, landscaping. These expenses can add up and will ultimately affect your net proceeds. Now, the real reason sellers ask about closing costs is because they want to know how much money will I actually walk away with. This all comes down to the sales price of your property minus these various closing costs. And as a real estate professional, one of the key services that I offer my clients is a marketing analysis. I will look into comparable sales, study current market conditions, and determine an estimated value for your home. From there, I can help you estimate your net proceeds by preparing a worksheet that takes into account your target list price and potential sale prices. This way, you'll have a clear idea of what you can expect to the home once all is said and done. And understanding your net proceeds is crucial because it directly impacts your next step, whether you're buying another home, or if you're investing, or you're simply moving to a new chapter within your life. And I hope you found this detailed breakdown of sellers' closing costs and estimated net proceeds helpful. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay informed about all things real estate. And if you have any questions or you need any personalized advice about selling your home, I am here to help. Just make sure to reach out to me at any time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you into the next video.